All right, time now for Top Talkers, and here we go with our Wednesday panel, the ever so lively Carson from 93.9 Bob FM, Leanne Cusack from CTV News at noon, and Trisha Owens from Majic Morning Show. It's always a pleasure to have you. Let's talk about tipping. There's a story out today that there's a restaurant in New York where what they're going to do is up the price of the food by about 15%. So you're paying a little bit more, and they don't want you to tip anymore as customers. So this way, their servers will get a better salary, they will be paid more, and will receive benefits. They don't have to worry about that, oh, how much am I going to make in tips? Have any of you ever been a server before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
I worked bar for a bit, yeah.
Bar, yeah.
It wasn't a long career, that's how I got into it. But you know, this is not a new York story. I remember having gone to New York in 2008 with a group of friends, and I wanted to treat for dinner. And you know, when you treat for dinner, you're discreet about the bill. You don't want to look like you're analyzing it or anything. So I thought that was pretty pricey for what we had. And then after the fact, someone said, you knew the tip was included, so I tipped 35%.
Oh, are you kidding?
No.
Well, someone should have told you.
Someone
There
should have.
should be a sign on the door as you're walking
there was
in.
no signage anywhere that said anything
there
about...
probably was. I've not seen it. But I mean, the starving actor wasn't about to say,
by the way,
you tipped me too much.
Yes, but he could do it very, very dramatically.
I think as long as they let the customers know that that's the case, I think it's a good idea, because then the servers are getting what they're worth, right?
How do you break down your tips anyways when you are tipping? Do you break it down based on the taxes and a little bit more? Because that's what I do.
Yes.
I can't do the percentage thing because the math, I don't math well, but I can do the taxes plus a little bit extra.
More, which would probably equal out to the 20%, which they say is the average, 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
We as Canadians apparently are great tippers, but different cultures, some people don't believe in tipping at all. So there's that scale, right? You might be a server and someone will tip you a great tip, someone will maybe even over tip you, and you might get nothing from someone else.
Well, folks in Burlington, Vermont, and I read the story recently as well too, they're getting frustrated with the people from Montreal, Quebec City that come down for cross-border shopping because they don't tip.
Yes.
They just don't tip at all, kind of thing, right? So it's funny how there's little pockets of areas that feel like they can tip a little bit more. I think if this makes the people that are working and serving the food have a better quality of life, then absorb it, do it. But are they actually doing that? Because when I heard, oh yeah, they're going to roll into the price. Well, how much of that is going to get peeled off for the service?
If you're thinking it's only an extra 15%, and that is translating into their salary, that's roughly what they would be getting in the tips. No? Is it about the same anyways? Are they getting that amount, or is the restaurant owner taking a little bit more of that for him or herself?
I think if you have an exceptional server, you're still going to tip a little bit on top of that to tell them clearly I'm the big tipper, hey, that they have stood out.
And how do you tip? Here's a question. Do you tip based on the price of the food, or do you tip based on the service? Because it's not only the percentage. Some people will in this article, will go ahead and tip. For example, there's an argument that a $50 bottle of wine and a $100 bottle of wine. You might get a great server opening that same bottle of wine. Do you tip on, if you're tipping on 50, let's say you're 10%, there's $5. If you're tipping on 100, there's $10 tip. It's the same type of service, the same server, just the price of that bottle of wine.
That's interesting. I typically go 15 to 20% just based
no matter
on
what.
the price, as long as the service is good.
On the
if
total,
the service is good.
On the total.
If the service isn't good, then I do less of a tip to
Have
say,
you ever not
sorry.
tipped because you were so angry with the service?
Yep.
I've done a really low
I've done
tip,
that with certain establishments here in the Byward Market. You know, who should know better. Who should know better.
Because they don't know who you are.
Plus, I always find out that I'll end up tipping better if I've had more bottles of wine. And if the service is really, really good, because and this is maybe where we're at right now, where we're so predisposed to being treated a certain way that when someone does step out of the norm and really steps it up, and it's not just you can tell people that are just doing it because it's their second or third job, or it's just something they're doing for now, it's not their real job. And the people that really take it seriously take a lot of pride in it.
It's an absolute art form for some people. But I have to say, if I were with you and you didn't tip, I would have been embarrassed, because I've been in that position where someone else is treating me and I can see they're not tipping quite enough.
Then you can feel free to tip for me.
Leanne and I have been in the same situation, and I would consider that I'm a good tipper, and that makes me a little uncomfortable.
Now, were you a server?
I have served,
I think that makes a difference.
Oh, because you've seen both sides of the coin.
Yes, I've seen both sides of the coin.
Way to go, outsider.
I tip well, but if the service is good.
Any servers out there watching us right now are going, oh yeah.
But I have to say, one of the reasons that I said that I was a good, because I am Miss Fussy Pants. I am that horrible person who most servers want to say, why don't you just go make that? Go make that at home. If you don't want that and you'd like that,
Can I get this on the side and this over there?
Stay home
Yeah.
and cook for
Can I
yourself.
They're getting the homemade pasta. You're getting the Chef Boyardee. Let's go.
Leanne likes to make life a little difficult for them. So, hey,
Miss
they're
Fussy
they're
Pants.
earning their tip. All right, good conversation. Interesting topic as always. I like that
I want
one.
to go out for dinner
All
with
right,
you
we are
guys.
gonna head over to Jeff now.